Welcome back, everybody. It's just a normal yard sale video. I'm going to do some voiceover work on this one because for some reason it wasn't recording the sound, but that's okay. I can just tell you what's going on anyways. I'm going to pass on these Brana shoes because they're really only worth about 20 bucks at most, and it would have required me to clean the bottom. But we did get these Guitar Hero guitars for PS3. Got both of them for 5 bucks total, and they should go for between like 40 and 50 bucks a piece. Went through these clothes just really quickly here. We'll speed through them. I think I found like 3 or 4 items. There'll be a Hurley hoodie that I ended up keeping, and then I think a black jacket. The guy was obviously a chef of some sort. I misjudged this place when I first started approaching. I think based off of the lawn care, I didn't think there'd be a bunch of really good items here, but ended up getting probably 20 pieces total of just either electronics or clothing or like those Guitar Hero guitars. That's a Billabong sweater. Ended up grabbing that. These pants I think I got as well. And I don't know that I got anything else from this pile. Let's see. Oh, I did get that Vans pink jacket. I figured I'll get at least 20 bucks out of that. And they were selling these for $1 a piece. So there was some money to be made. A Monica Lewinsky dress. I ended up passing on that because we already have one. And there's this Nautica bag. Ended up passing on that. Nautica you see a lot like Ross. So I'm looking for a vintage orange Sony CD player, and that wasn't the one. So I passed on it. This Brother little typewriter thing. This is a label printer. I ended up looking that up. It was only worth like 15 bucks, so I passed on it. These glasses I got because I was able to get them for like 50 cents. They should go for between $20 and $40 because they were patented. Like I think the side glass where the sun comes in on the edge of it is a patented feature. So it ended up being worth it to grab those. And let's see. I'm just looking them up right now. That's why I'm going a little slow here. But then I got this voice recorder, little mini tape recorder. I think this was only worth 20 bucks, and I ended up passing on it for that reason. And I just think at $20, it would have cost me $1 to buy it, and because it's electronic, it might not work. I don't know if I checked the battery compartment in this. I probably should have, but I just set that aside. Pretty sure I didn't keep it. And then somebody comes up, starts digging through the same box that I am, which was, I should have just, I don't know, grabbed his hand and held it because he was getting really close, pulling things out as I'm pulling stuff out. Doesn't really bother me that much, but most people won't do it. So we had a moment. Tape player, I passed on that unless they're like retro looking and they're actually retro and old. I'll just pass on them because you can still get cassette players, Walkman type cassette players. I'm going to grab these because I can get them for, I think he gave them to me for $2 or $3, and I should be able to get 40 out of them minimum. They were size 13, those Nike shoes. I looked up this camera, and it ended up only being worth like 30 to 40 bucks. I figured it wasn't worth it because it's the risk of having them return it because something's not working on it. The batteries get really old in these things. So if you're not going to make, at least in my opinion, at least for the risk that I'm willing to take, if I'm not going to sell it for like 75 bucks, I'm just going to pass on them. I just don't want to have to deal with returns on these or having to order a battery, because once you order a battery, that's $10 to $15 for the battery. And then you've already put in whatever I would have paid for this, which I think he would have sold it for probably 5 to 10 bucks. But I just let it go. What's funny, though, is that like that charger right there that I'm putting back in the bag, that may be worth just as much as the cam itself. At the time, I didn't think to look at it and see if it was some proprietary plug. But I'm just going to tell myself that it wasn't. That way I don't have any FOMO. All right, next thing, a couple of items were in here. I think I come back and I look at this stuff more thoroughly after I go and I purchase the stuff that I've set aside. That was too messed up. Ended up passing on it. It wasn't like a really high quality jersey, really thin. I could tell it was kind of cheap. All right, we're just digging through some clothes here. I believe I did get this one. I'm a huge Rodman fan. The original internet troll before the internet. These cargo pants I did end up getting because they're a Tommy Hilfiger. They looked a little retro, so I got them. I'll make at least $20 on them. This Osprey, this is what I'm talking about. Like, these were like underneath a bunch of stuff in this bin, and the stuff at the top wasn't that great, but then at the bottom there's some pretty good stuff. Like that backpack, I should get 30 to 40 bucks, 30 to 50 bucks for that backpack, because it's, I think the tags are even still on it. Seahawk beanie, I think I did get that, and that was like $1. Let's see, next yard sale here. There wasn't really much at this one. I think because there were so many people there, all the good stuff was taken. This is like 11:30, 11 o'clock right now. Pretty cool projector. Probably should have looked into that more. I was kind of on a time crunch though, since it was already 11:30. My mistake there. A vintage Scrabble, I ended up looking that up. It wasn't worth as much as I thought that it might be. It ended up only being like $15 to $20 for the condition that it was in. So there's my thumbnail. Luckily, I had trimmed my nails that morning. These remotes, J-Rad would probably be mad that I didn't look those up, but I just went, nah. Remotes aren't really my thing. If they're like the big fancy kind, they've got like a display screen or whatever, I'll get them. But not those ones. Those ones look like old like sound system or old DVD, VHS. These Legos were so ghetto, you wouldn't even believe me if I told you how ghetto they were. The plastic was super brittle. Passed on those. They weren't Lego. They were some kind of knockoff brick company. It's probably already got sued out of existence by Lego. I couldn't believe how much she wanted for this nail gun. I think she wanted $250 or something for that box. That's probably what I would have sold it for online. Maybe one. Actually, no, I wouldn't have got that because I remember looking it up and it was like 100, 150. She wanted 200. Everything was overpriced at this. You can see it's starting to rain here. A little bit later, it started to pour like crazy. I kind of feel bad for them. They were overpriced everything here. These bike tubes were, I believe, she wanted $5 or $10 per tube. And I was thinking one. I ended up putting all three of them back, and so did the other people who were standing there holding them because they were like, oh, never mind. Overpriced on these Blu-ray DVD players as well. They wanted like 30 or 50 bucks depending on the Blu-ray player. And that's just way too much for yard sale pricing. When I hold yard sales, I always remind myself, remember, yard sale pricing, yard sale pricing. We're just trying to get rid of stuff. We're not trying to make a ton of money because we're either going to donate the stuff or we're going to get $1 or $2 out of it. That is not the strategy that they had at this yard sale. This yard sale was like, let's charge online prices for everything, except for this hat. Now, these hats all ended up being, not all of them, but a lot of them ended up being knockoffs. And I didn't notice till like right at the end. This one was a legit Nike one. Well, I mean, as far as I know, everything looked legit on it. But the other ones were like obviously fakes. At least the other one I was interested in, this famous Stars and Straps or whatever, ended up being said something like fantastic Stars and Stripes or something weird. It wasn't the name brand on it, so it was easy to pass up on that one. Gonna go fast through these. Nothing really drawing my eye here. Pass. I would have got that if it wasn't a kid size, but it was, so I passed on it. These I probably would have got too, but they had a bunch of company logos on them. Not always a deal killer, but they weren't like super interesting jackets. They didn't look that great, so I just passed on it. The color looked kind of oldish. It's hard to explain. It wasn't a hip color. I guess that's kind of a weird word to say. This is when I realized right at the end that this hat was fake. That's what the F should have stood for. But after I looked it up, then I looked at the side and said, oh, it's not the right tagline. Anyways, that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.